So for me, I've been working the MLS system heavy. It's been about building a business more than anything for me, rather than just necessarily just finding a deal and then kind of moving off. It's been about really building systems around the MLS, working with real estate agents, all types of stuff. I haven't got that first deal yet, and honestly, it's starting to become a little bit discouraging. But it's a push. But a lot of people I talk to are very afraid to work off the MLS, and they say it takes too long to find deals that way. I know you talk about the MLS a lot, but I'm just curious, I guess, to what is some of the best options? People keep telling me to go into more off-market deals, cold calling. But with my job, I don't have an opportunity to full-time cold call. So I want to hire VAs. So I kind of have two questions in there. How do you feel about, kind of basing your business off the MLS as a great wholesaling tool? And then the second one is like, do you recommend, or do you have any VAs that you recommend working with, like starting early in your business that aren't like $2,000 a month or, stuff like that, especially if you're just trying to build cash flow?
Yeah, great question. So the MLS is always a great place to get started in the business. Like Nalia's example, she landed that OnMarket deal, 10 days into her to starting in wholesaling, did a $10,000 deal, right? So there's always opportunity on the MLS because the benefits are it's free. There's no marketing costs. There's very little moving parts because you're just dealing directly with agents. But it is work. I mean, it's a lot of work. Most of the time, you've got to go through a lot of offers. Most of your offers are ridiculously low compared to the list price. Like all of that's normal. So it is more work. And you're definitely not going to get massive spreads with OnMarket. Like typically you're going to get 10,000, maybe 15,000. Every now and then there's some big ones. But because agents are very aware of market and value. And so they're never going to allow their client to give it away for a steal. Like, so there's limitations on your spreads with OnMarket. And I'm generalizing, where you get the really deep buys and the really big spreads is with OffMarket. That's just normal. And even with OffMarket, your big spreads are usually with PPC. So that's online marketing. So Google and Facebook ads, because that's inbound. Anything that's inbound is going to drive a highly motivated seller because they're calling you. And the big difference is always the question that gets asked is, why do you want to sell your house? Or what price do you want to sell your house for? And when it's inbound, you get to ask that question. When it's outbound, and you say to the seller, well, why do you want to sell your house? Or what's the lowest you'll take for your house? The seller's going to say, well, you called me. And so it takes you out of the driver's seat. Whenever you're in the driver's seat, you get the biggest spreads and the biggest discounts. And so that's now creating an inbound lead through pay-per-click, maybe direct mail, some of those type of leads in marketing that generate a call into you is going to be very powerful. So it's just taking into context what all these different channels do, what all these different marketing methods do, and what you're willing to do, where you're willing to invest, what your budget is. Are you building a team? Are you a solo one-person show? And just knowing that in the beginning, when you're a one-man show, in your case, you've got everything going against you. You've got all the odds stacked against you. You've got no momentum, no leverage in the marketplace. And that's always a hard place to start. But that's just where you start. And then, if you see it through and you stick through it, and you can work through discouragement and get through that first deal, that second deal, that third deal, reinvest, start to scale, bring on your first hire, reinvest in the marketing. Now you start to see the snowball effect, right? Where things start to come faster, they start to come more frequent, they start to come easier. And that's just creating that momentum. And so I tell people in the beginning, OnMarket is a phenomenal place to get your first deal. Some people make it the end all be all, like they end up doing 3, 4, 5 deals a month, all OnMarket, before they start to think, you know what, I think I'm kind of exhausting OnMarket in my market. and I need to start doing some off market, right? But most markets, if you really do it right, you can do the 3 to 5 deals a month on market just with the inventory and the relationships. But you're going to have to be really working those agents, doing lots of follow-up, lots of reaching out, calling on everything that comes available, really working that model for it to start to pay off. But again, no marketing cost. So it's worth it in the beginning when you don't have budgets. If you don't have a marketing budget, then it just kind of takes off market right off the table. Because how do you do off market without a marketing budget? You really can't. There's some free methods, but you're going to have to be getting lists. You're going to have to be skip tracing, cold calling. Now you're hiring cold callers, doing some of these expensive things that are expensive, but pay off really, really well. And cold calling with text and cold call, on average, you're going to spend about $25 to maybe $35 per lead. Now that's not per conversion, that's per lead, like somebody that wants to sell. PPC, you're going to be paying $80 to $100 per lead. Right. And so then if you're closing, 1 out of 30 leads, then it's going to cost you a couple $1,000s or whatever, per contract in marketing expense. Now that's worth it when you have a budget and you can start putting money back in. And so some markets, it's very expensive. Phoenix, they're paying $10,000 to $15,000 per contract in marketing. That's how competitive it is. So what do you do if you don't have that kind of budget? Well, the agent model is your best way to get traction, as hard as it is, as hard as it feels. So that was a very long-winded answer, but what thoughts did that generate for you, Devin? How was that helpful, or what else?
I think that was extremely helpful. I think everything you said were things that I was really realizing in the market. I was having a conversation with somebody earlier, and I'm just like, okay, I'm realizing that the MLS, I'm not going to find too many deals where I'm going to make 30, 40, 50. Like they're going to come once in a while. I know I'm going to find deals at about 10, 15, and I'm learning a lot about the market. So like every day I'm creating these systems and I have these systems in place. I'm learning the market. I'm learning the area. So it's very beneficial. The conversation I'm having with real estate agents is extraordinary because I'm realizing the amount of information I know versus the amount of information they know, which puts me in a lot of control in those situations.
You're already an expert. Yeah, you know more than they do already. Totally.
Right. I mean, of course, thanks to you, but like, it's also a buyer's market right now. I mean, a seller's market. So, I am coming across those real estate agents where you see that deal. I have systems in place where as soon as something hits the market, within an hour, I'm alerted. But, there aren't a lot of dumb real estate agents. So real estate agents are hitting the market with LTV prices and then holding out for days to get as many contracts as they can. And it's just like, it's a headache because you have to maneuver all that. So it's just hard, but I'm learning a lot, and everything you said is correct. And it's actually motivating. But it is one of those things where it's like, okay, it will take a little bit of time.
Yeah, I've got a great example. I've got an on-market deal in Pittsburgh, and we have the contract at 80. List price is 115. It was at 135, so they had a price drop. We got the contract at 80. I'm convinced that 90 is a deal, like for a local cash buyer. Well, the problem is the cash buyers in the market, they know this property. It's been on the market forever. Now it's overpriced. If it was off market, I'd have moved it already at 90, like done. It'd have moved at 90, but it's on market. So I've got this stigma. I've got this challenge where they know about it. Now they sat on their thumbs while I got the deal. And I've got a buyer right now that wants it, but I cannot get him really up much. And he's actually stuck at 80 and I'm at 80. So we're in the process of trying to renegotiate with the agent at 70 so that I can carve out a 10K wholesale fee, right? And maybe I'll get it, maybe I won't, I don't know. But my point with this is the agent who's pricing it, the market, like nobody's going to let me make a killing on this deal because of the nature of it being on market. So I know that. Like I already know that about OnMarket. OnMarket's usually going to get you around 10 grand is what you'll wholesale OnMarket, which is amazing because if you think about it, if I've got no marketing and I make 10 grand, that's the same as making 20 grand off market where I spent 10 grand in marketing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
It's okay. Like it's fine, but it means that you really got to dial in your ability to negotiate, build relationships. Like for me, I've been doing it so long now that I really know how to talk to agents. I really know what to say, how to get them on my side, how to get them to go to bat for me, how to negotiate around the issues, how to let them give me access, how to renegotiate when I need to come down. Like just because I've just done it for years and years, hundreds and thousands of times. So it just feels second nature to me. So I can crush it on market because I've invested in learning that skill set. Okay. And so like, I guess one thing I would say is, don't give up. Like just keep going. And you'll get better and better and better. And you'll be amazed at how that'll start. That investment in learning how to do OnMarket will pay off. Okay. And so I will never go away from OnMarket ever. Okay. Because I spend so much money in OffMarket to do that too. Okay. And it's such a beast to do OffMarket. So many moving parts, a team, people, cost, cold callers, right? It's great because you get your deep buys OffMarket. But man, I'll bang out a 10K OnMarket again and again and again and never get tired of that. Okay,
that makes sense. You did bring up another problem though. Sellers know what's on market. And I've heard this before where sellers won't buy on, like there are sellers that are afraid to buy. I mean, not sellers, buyers that are afraid to buy on market deals, even though you might have caught them for very good prices. Is that a real thing?
Yeah. So about half of the buyers in the marketplace won't even touch it if it's on market. So you've already cut out a lot of buyers that just are turned off by it. They feel like they're overpaying. They feel like it's not a deal, and it should have nothing to do with that. It should have everything to do with the formula. Like, does the formula work? Who cares if it's on market? Now, in my example with Pennsylvania, my buyer I've got on the hook at 80. He made an offer on the property back earlier, I don't know, like a month or so ago. He walked the property. He made an offer. At the time, the seller said no and wasn't motivated. So then he doesn't follow up. I come along and get the contract at 80. And now here he is wanting the deal. But only because he was too slow to get it, to follow up and get the deal. So he's just not going to pay a premium for this property. He's just not, So why? Because he knows about it. He took a shot at it. He didn't get it. I get it. He wants it. But there's no way this guy's going to let me make 20, 30,000 on the deal. He's just not. It's just, he's too savvy of a buyer and he knows what's going on. And that's just kind of the nature of OnMarket. But can I carve out 10 grand? Yeah, I think so.
Thanks, Jerry. Appreciate you. I got disconnected. So apologies on that.
Oh yeah, I thought so. Yeah. Hope that was helpful, Devin, on some of that.
That was extremely helpful. I appreciate you.
You got it.
Hey, Jerry, I just wanted to add in something on Devin's question.
Sure.
Yeah. I also, just because we're specifically working on market, and since our first deal, we've created like 4 or 5 really good relationships with agents. And I feel like that's a really good plus of on-market properties that I just wanted to add in, is that the longer you focus on market properties, you create these really good relationships with agents, and then they start bringing you their off market deals that are they're about to go on market and stuff. And so there's more of an influx. Like we've only been doing it for about 2 months now, but we've seen more and more that, at least once a week, one of our agents that we've made a connection with will, send us a text or give us a call and let us know, hey, we have a property that's about to go on market, and we just wanted to get a quick offer from you guys because we know that the seller's motivated. So it's a good way to create relationships too that'll last and bring back, bring you off market leads.
Yeah, I would say most of the deals I do on market are not about the property I called on. It's about something else they have, or it's the agent calling me about a different deal later after the relationship was made. So, or I follow up, hey, do you got anything? I'm just checking in with you. Do you got anything you're working on? Can I make an offer on a property that you're having a hard time with? And the agent will be like, well, yeah, I got this problem property, or, I got this seller on the sidelines that I don't know what to do with. Maybe you would be a good fit, and they bring us together, so those things happen as you build those relationships. So great point. Love that. Good feedback.